SJWs in the mainstream media do not want people to have their own thoughts. They do not want people to have any sort of critical thinking whatsoever. They want to create a world where the gaming industry, Hollywood, the mainstream media just feeds us all sorts of different content created in their own narrative, and they want people to just blindly consume it without any sort of criticism, without any sort of critical thinking or kickback or anything like that. That is the perfect world to the mainstream media, to Hollywood, and to what they want is as the gaming industry. Thankfully, there is some resistance to this sort of thinking within the gaming industry, but that is obviously shrinking more and more every day. So this is an article from VG247. Game developers, it's time to stop listening to the fans. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire article because there is a little bit of fluff in this article, but we're going to kind of break down some of the main points that this dude is making in this article. So, Don't get mad. There's a bit of hyperbole in that headline. Among all the detritus of the internet, the occasional bit of usable feedback exists. It's just that the shit floats to the top until it's all you can see. Hopefully, I remember to bleep out the S word because I don't want this video to get demonetized. BioWare has a lot to answer for, basically. Mass Effect 3 feels like ground zero for toxic fan entitlement. I'm sure the developer was just trying to do the right thing. I'm sure that's exactly what they're doing. I'm sure that they didn't cut corners. I'm sure that they didn't, do the minimum amount of work as possible in order to create a game that would still make them money. I'm sure that wasn't the case at all. But it changed the ending of its game due to negative feedback, bending its creative vision to pander to the baying masses. This rarely happens in any other medium. Sure, you could point at the Sonic movie changing its appearance over criticism, but it's the video game crowd once again. Elsewhere, people have petitioned to have the last season of Game of Thrones remade, but HBO would never do that because it's absurd. And of course, HBO is never going to do that. HBO is never going to remake Season 8. But on the other hand, I'm sure that's exactly what a lot of fans want because Season 8 was trash. Season 8 was an absolute dumpster fire. Like it or not, the vast majority of video game players just do not understand game development. If a game doesn't run well, it's bad optimization. If there's a lack of features, it isn't down to development constraints and deadlines, it's lazy developers. I mean, that is kind of an issue. I mean, that can be an issue. It's lazy developers or developers who are focused way more on microtransactions and all that type of stuff instead of the actual game. We've seen this before with plenty of games. We've seen this before with even like games like Call of Duty, where they make the priority their microtransactions rather than actually fixing issues in the game. This has happened with just recently with Black Ops 4. That's not a dig at the gaming audience. It's just that video games are a complex chimera of publisher goals, developer goals, and the realities of working with an ever-shifting vision. It's like molding a jar of clay on a roller coaster. Games are a broken mess right up until launch when the roller coaster... So basically, this person is just trying to, teach people, I guess, the difference between... I don't know. This person is just trying to make you sound like an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about. But because he works for an enlightened journalist company, VG247, he has all the answers, and you are nothing but a degenerate, pretty much. Things are often cut or changed. All right, so he's just continuing here. You often see video game fans come to the defense of game developers if certain story beats in a game are criticized. Criticism is just that, pointing out that something could be better. It's not asking for something to be changed. It's a talking point, a hopefully deeper reading of a game that might help you see it from another angle. Yet when a critic points out issues with the handling of certain themes, a portion of the audience cries censorship. Then they go off and create petitions to get games changed. Now, there's some different things here. I appreciate when people do what they want with the story. I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with when the developers take their own liberties with the story, but at the same time, it still has to make sense, and it still has to work for the story. That's why Game of Thrones Season 8 didn't work, was because it was garbage, and nothing in Season 8 made sense, and they did not honor the characters at all. I mean, basically it just boils down to, we, the fans, expect more from these characters that we love in Game of Thrones or in video games or whatever. We want them to be good. We want them to actually matter, to actually have weight to them, to actually have depth to them. We don't want them to do things that don't make sense to the characters. We want them to actually create movies, video games, TV shows that actually are good. That's all we want. Look, we are the consumers, okay? We are the people that are buying these games. We are the people that are spending our hard-earned money to support things like video games and TV shows and movies. And these things aren't cheap, You go to the theater, you can easily spend $20-$30 just for one person. You go to buy a game, it's just $60 a pop. That's not including all the microtransaction nonsense. So we are the consumers. We have a right as a consumer to be able to critically say whatever we want about a game. If we have issues with a game, we have the right to say that. And these petitions, I don't think there's very many people that think that these petitions are actually going to do anything about changing games or TV shows or whatever. But I think that these petitions are a great way for people to be able to get their voice out there. It really shows just how much of a cry there is for better characters, better stories, all that type of stuff. That's what petitions, I think, are mainly for when it comes to video games and shows and all of that type of stuff. And so, we as the consumers, we have the right to be able to speak with our minds, speak with our wallets, and say whatever we want. If we don't like the product that is being given to us, we have a right to say that. It's the same thing as if you go to a restaurant. Let's say that you go to a fast food restaurant. They give you a meal and the meal is garbage. You can just take that if you want to. I mean, you're also in your right to do that if you want to. If you just want to eat what they give you, if it's like a half-assed made burger or whatever. But you also have the right to be able to say, hey, you did a crappy job with this burger, so, if you could fix it, that'd be great. I've done that plenty of times when I go to fast food restaurants because I'm spending my hard-earned money, and I should be given what I paid for, That's exactly the same thing that's happening with these TV shows and these video games and all that type of stuff. But the mainstream media likes to jump in here, and they like to defend these different companies for creating half-assed projects and products and stuff. And we've seen the same thing with Disney. We've seen the same thing with HBO, with Game of Thrones. We've seen it with video games. The mainstream media jumps to the defense of these things and saying, oh, if you have criticisms about this game, about this show, you are just a bunch of trolls or misogynists or something along those lines. They just like to say that anybody who has any sort of critical thought when it comes to these products makes you automatically a troll. You are instantly a troll. You are instantly a misogynist or a sexist or a racist or whatever. It's all about attacking the fans when they have critical thoughts. It isn't about defending the fans and being like, yeah, you know what? These people actually have a point. It's the same thing with Sonic the Hedgehog. I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, this person actually references that, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in here. Man, maybe not. But I thought that I saw something in here about them like referencing this whole Sonic the Hedgehog thing that just came out recently, where they created a version of Sonic the Hedgehog, and the fans didn't like it. It looked terrible. It looked like garbage. It did not look like Sonic at all. And so the fans spoke out about it. They were like, hey, this is not looking good. This looks like garbage. And the director actually said, all right, you know what? We're going to do what we can to try to make this better. And the fans actually respected the director for that. They were like, wow, a director actually listened to us. Is this reality still? Do I have to pinch myself here or what? But the mainstream media took an entire different approach to that than the fans did. They actually attacked the fans, and they were like,
they should not be changing anything for the fans. They should do what they want with Sonic, and the fans should just be quiet.
That's exactly what happened with that whole situation, and this continues to happen time and time again. And now we have the mainstream media actually writing articles saying that these people should stop listening to the fans. We are the ones that hold these companies accountable. All right, because we are the ones that are giving them money. We are the ones that are the accountability partners, you could say, for these companies. If we didn't say anything at all, then our entertainment would just continue to get worse and worse. It would just get crappier and crappier. That's why it's important for us to speak with our wallets and speak with our minds and our voices. If we're just brainless blobs that just consume everything that Hollywood gives us and the gaming industry gives us and the mainstream media gives us, that is not holding them accountable, and the quality is going to get worse and worse for these stories, these products that we are paying money for. And that is not good. That is not good. If you want good stories, I want good stories. I want good characters. I want to actually have stories once again coming. I want movies to be coming to theaters once again that are making me excited, that are moving me, that are emotionally, that are making me actually feel things, to actually care about the characters. I want that. I want that. I crave it. I love it when I go see movies that do that to me. And if we don't hold Hollywood accountable, if we don't hold the gaming industry accountable, then we are going to get that less and less. So, the mainstream media can do what they want. If they want to continue to pander to Hollywood and to the gaming industry and all of that type of stuff, and basically say that we're just a bunch of misogynistic trolls and all of that type of crap, then they are in their right to do that. But we as the fans, don't listen to these people. Continue to speak critically. Continue to hold these companies accountable. That is our job. That is our right as the consumers, as the customers. So, I'm not going to really get too much more into this article here because, this person's just whining about it and, basically making a big deal out of it. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this article. You can go read this article if you do want to. That's totally in your right to do that. So, go ahead and do that if you want to. It's at VG247. So with that being said, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this article this person wrote? What do you think about this whole situation with the mainstream media trying to basically call anyone who critically says anything against Hollywood or gaming industry or whatever, trolls, misogynists, sexist, racist, whatever. We know they're little buzzwords and stuff. So let me know in the comments below what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you all very soon in another video. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.